Welcome to Wealth Coffee Chats, folks, for your daily live updates. Get the most out of today's episode by participating in the chat. Make sure you ask some questions, be part of the conversation, have a bit of fun, grab a coffee or a tea, take some notes, and get ready to start your day, folks. Quick few housekeeping rules, though. No spamming, no advertising or self-promotion in the chat. That's not on. Be kind and respectful to everyone when participating. And most of all, have a good time. Real estate investing can be your biggest asset. It also can be your most expensive asset when it comes to getting it right or getting it wrong, folks. It can be time-consuming, stressful, and that's why here at Positive, we have what's called a 6-star team, a full-service team that provides integrated wealth and property investing solutions and services simply designed to help you progress towards your goal of passive income through your property portfolio, folks. Make sure you check out our other podcasts on the Positive Mentor Network. Not only is there Wealth Coffee Chats, there's the Urban Property Investor. Drops every Wednesday with straight talking investing strategies and lessons with Sam Saggers. Property Investor Tales. This is where our clients, you guys, share real life stories from property investing, hosted by some of our advisors and strategists. And that's done every fortnight, dropping every Monday. Wealth, Wine and Wisdom, folks, that debriefs the week that was in the world of finance and property, hosted by yours truly, Jason Witten and Andy Fenton on Fridays. Welcome to another Wealth Coffee Chats. Marvellous Monday. Hope you're well, folks, wherever you are. If you think it's Get Rich Quick, you're in the wrong place. This is the wrong podcast. This is the wrong live for you. Welcome to another Wealth Coffee Chat. Hope you're all awesome and well. Hello, good morning, everyone. Hopefully you can hear me. I'm out and about today. Got to catch up with someone a bit later on. Give us a shout out in the chat, folks, if you can hear me. Hopefully we're all live. It's a bit of a public holiday for a few of you today up in Queensland where, well, I wouldn't call us working anyway. I'm not going to be working too hard. But wherever you are, I hope you're well, folks. Good to see you. Welcome to Monday, 10th of June. It's getting away on us, folks. That's for sure. That is for sure. And the year is almost at its end. Give us a shout out in the chat. I've got Alex there. Things are going all right. Good to see Alex. Good to see a few of the early birds up and at it. For those who may be new, if you are new, let us know. Give us a shout out in the chat. Say hello. Jason Witten here. If you didn't already know my name, now you do. A little bit chilly in Queensland, depending on where you are in the world. You'd probably just say I'm complaining about nothing. The sun's out anyway. There you go. But good to see a few of you on this morning, folks. And good to have you here in Wealth Coffee Chats. Now, this morning I thought we might talk about a few things that might be interesting. Buffers, war chests, bits and pieces like that. I hear a lot of questions, or I hear a lot of conversations with some people talking about how much money do they keep in reserve to make sure that they're safe when they're investing. And property investing sometimes gives a few surprises here and there, and that's certainly one of those things where we're talking about, okay, how much do we unlock our potential when it comes to investing, and how much money do we put into the deals, into things, and how much do we keep in reserve just in case. So I thought we might talk about that this morning because it's an important thing to understand, important thing to make sure you've got in your mind when it comes to the world of investing. Hey, good morning, Ivan. Good to see you. Good to see you there. All right. Well. Oh, that's not me.
Oh, sorry.
Yep. Getting a free getting a free bit of food here this morning by the look of it, which is interesting. There you go. Anyway, all right. Well, let's get into it. Let's have a conversation about what we might do when it comes to the world of investing and our buffers. If I can get this thing going. And stick with me, folks, for a second. I've got a new layout with my restream here, and there we go. There we go. Got it going now. All right, there we go. Anyway, so let's talk about this. Let's talk about buffers. Let's talk about dollars that we would put aside for safety factors, for things that we need to make sure we keep an eye on when it comes to investing. Now, for you and me, most of us, when we get going, when we start investing, we unlock equity from our home. That's usually the place we get our dollars to invest. Your income, what you earn as a family, combined with what you've got access to, some cash or some equity, usually gives us the ability to go out and borrow and start to invest, maybe in some properties and bits and pieces. Now, when we get out there, when we look at, all right, what are we doing? We're going to buy some investments, let's say. We might be looking at sort of leveraging that income and buy an investment property. How do we roll? What do we keep in the tank when it comes to our buffers, our war chest, our safety zones, right? So let's have a look at this. For me, for you, what I usually say to my clients is that there's an important piece to have a look at how much dollars, how much money per investment property do we need, and then how much do we need at home. So let's just have a look across this little scenario here. So when it comes to the personal world, I always say to people, hey, listen, at the minimum, I think you should have 6 months worth of your fixed family expenses tucked away. 6 months family expenses tucked away. Now, what does that mean? Most of us, it'd be very unlikely that 2 people in a family, or even one, would be unemployed for 6 months. But 6 months is a good buffer, especially if you've got kids and bits and pieces, and you might need a little bit of a safety zone. So you get yourself sorted when it comes to this. Get yourself a budget, whatever it might be, and let's say the average living cost might be $3,000, and your average mortgage might be $3,000. So you go $6,000 times 6, $36K tucked away somewhere in accessible cash or accessible equity. All right. Now, when it comes to your home, I always like to say, all right, if you've got access to cash, redraw, whatever it might be, I'm more than happy for that to be sitting in your redraw or offset account. It's a good place because it saves you money, but you've always got access to that. So at the end of the day, if you accessed, let's say, $200K in equity, then I would sort of say keep 50 aside, and then you have 150 for investing. All right, so your 150 might go over here into investment property, and now we've got to think about, okay, well, we've got an investment property. Do we need to put a bit of a buffer aside? Do we need to put some cash aside when it comes to an investment property? So here's my rules when it comes to how much money do I put aside for an investment property. And there's a difference between new and old. All right. And when I say old, I usually sort of say 10 years or older, and so plus 10 years or under 10 years. Okay. Now, why do I say plus 10 years or under 10 years? Chuck it in the chat for me, folks. Why is there a difference kind of in when it comes to a little bit of extra buffer, or the difference in new versus old when it comes to money you would need to put aside in your safety bucket, your safety zone, whatever it might be?
the difference between new and old. All right. So with new, most new properties have some warranties or building warranties, right? And that usually goes between sort of 7 and 10 years. And then older properties have zero. There's no warranties. There's no depreciation fizzles out as well. Exactly, Ivan. So if something breaks, you need some money to fix it, right? So for me, when I'm looking at new properties, I always like to have a minimum of $5,000 for a new property and $10,000 for an old property. It's double for an older property, okay, when it comes to these things, because older properties tend to break down, and that can happen a bit more often when properties are older. New properties, perfectly fine. Why do I always have money set aside for new properties, even if they're under warranty and they've got insurances and all that sort of stuff? Well, folks, what you do need to do is you need to be able to replace anything that breaks or is broken in your investment properties immediately. Okay. Now, I don't know about you guys, but when was the last time an insurance company paid you an insurance claim immediately? When did they come out and go, yep, no problem, pay it straight away? So you've got to have some cash available to be able to do this pretty well straight away. So that's why you've got to have a good buffer, depending on if it's new or it's old. Can you have your buffer sitting in your offset account or in your redraw facility? Yeah, the answer is yes. It's usually the better place to have it. But for each property, you've got to have some aside. So if you think about this, 6 months worth of personal. So you might have between 30 and 50k personal buffer set aside. And then over here for your investment, this is your personal, and then your investments. Then let's call it 5k per property. Okay, minimum 5k per property. So let's say you've got a portfolio of 5 properties. That's 25k, right? So you're looking at between sort of 30 at the lower side, plus 25, round that up to 30. So you're talking about 60 to 100k, all right, for a property portfolio of 5, all right, as we go along. So, for most of us, we might overcook that sometimes. We might think, all right, well, I want a bit more security, and that's perfectly fine. And we've got to be careful of the balancing act of holding back too much cash and not putting it into the market, not getting it working, and having feeling safe about that, or putting it into the market and knowing that you've got a good property, you've got some good budgets in place, you've got some good management in place for your financials, and you can get your portfolio growing as you go along. Anyway, thought I'd just talk about that this morning, out and about for a quick coffee. I know the rest of the country is having a bit of a public holiday, so I hope you guys are enjoying a bit of a day off. Jeff, how are you, mate? Good to see you. Anyway, I think that's about it from me this morning, folks. Thought I'd just do a quick little check-in, a quick conversation about buffers and dollars and cents. So for most of us, as we're growing our portfolio, we're going to need between 50 and 100 grand of emergency capital, buffer, or just personal set aside as we grow our portfolio for our bits and bobs, and then the rest of it, if we can, get it into the market, get it invested in our assets as we go along. So there you go. All right, folks, that's about it from me today. See you tomorrow for another Wealth Coffee Chat. Probably see the rest of you here because you're back off of public holidays. All right, folks, that's it from me. See you tomorrow. Take care. Bye for now.
Episode of Wealth Coffee Chat, folks. Make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on your notifications so you never miss a thing when we go live. Improve your portfolio and investing game, folks, with Wealth Coffee Chats live every morning at 8:10 each weekday. Make sure you join us. Previous episodes are also available wherever you get your podcasts, folks, as well as our other podcasts from the 6-Star team here at positivementor.com.au.